I'm here to talk about the future of Web3 infrastructure and what that means to us. So right now, the state of Web3 is such that it is completely disconnected from Web2, at least in terms of the development experience. And we're here to kind of bridge that gap. So we take a comprehensive approach on Web3 infrastructure. The way we look at it is, how do we build a cloud that is native for Web3? And I'll be talking a little bit about what that looks like. But before that, I want to show you guys, I'm sure, something you've seen. This is Star Atlas's gameplay, currently live on-chain. And Star Atlas is using Syndica for their infrastructure. And it's really cool stuff to see. One protocol on-chain is actually doing more transactions than the whole Polygon network, which is, pretty insane. Star Atlas has been using Syndica now for, I think, over 1.5 years, and they seem to enjoy it. Also want to talk a little bit about Brave. So anybody here used Brave before? Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, so Brave is actually a privacy-focused browser. They have an in-browser wallet, and we power their Solana wallet. So just to give you guys a sense of scale, they have 57 million monthly active users, 22 million daily active users, and this is as of June 2023, so I'm sure it has expanded since then. And they seem to also enjoy using Syndica. So our focus at Syndica is, how do we build the enterprise-grade cloud of Web3? And so what that basically means is reimagining a set of developer tools that developers can build upon. And so I want to focus in on one key technology here at Syndica that we use and that we've built from the ground up, and that's our Edge Gateway. So our Edge Gateway is actually just an API gateway. We chose not to use HA Proxy or Apache or Nginx, some of the off-the-shelf API gateways that exist, because they are not really sufficient for Web3. And so anybody that's used a load balancer that had to proxy request to multiple node providers or multiple nodes that you had running yourself know how difficult it is to continue to keep those nodes in sync with the network while also optimally serving traffic. And so within our Edge Gateway, we had to build load balancing, traffic management. We had to build out authentication, logging, threat mitigation, analytics, all this from the ground up. And we are live today. Anyone can use us. But in our V2 that we're going to be releasing here really, really soon, you're going to see some significant throughput increases. So on average, what we did was we took kind of a subset of daily customer RPC calls and tested it and benchmarked it against our V1. So our V1 versus our V2, we're on average 30% faster on some of the most common RPC methods. This is a very, very fair analysis of how much faster we are in terms of latency with these methods, but some methods we've seen anywhere between a 2 to 10x increase in throughput, as well as a reduction in latency. So we've been really, really hard at work trying to increase the reliability of the RPC infrastructure in this space. We've been doing it now for about 2.5 years. So we were one of the first infrastructure providers in Solana, and we've learned a lot over the last 24 months of being in this ecosystem. We're also building and deploying custom hardware. So we've tested an array of different processors, NVMe SSDs, RAM, as well as network interface cards. And we have actually custom built with our vendor a node that is going to be sufficient for some of our scaling needs coming here in the future. And why this really matters, why are we building out a custom hardware that's going to be powering this cloud infrastructure? Well, it comes down to our stack. So if you look here, this is how we kind of think about the Web3 cloud stack. So at the very base layer, you have the hardware that powers all of the infrastructure. On top of that, you have this logical cloud layer, which allows you to separate resources and separate accounts, et cetera. And then we have some of the products that we offer on top of that. So app deployments, which I'll talk about in a second, RPC, Chainstream API, and then on top of that, we have something that's coming out really soon, which is our dynamic indexer. But all those things are what Syndica offer. What you guys can do with those products is kind of up to you, right? So in terms of app deployments, you can deploy an application directly on Syndica with our version 2. With RPC, you can directly plug in a Web3.js, Solana's Web3.js library, and start using our RPC infrastructure. And with our indexers, you can build out any kind of transaction watching mechanism that allows you to easily act upon any transactions or any account updates that happen on-chain. And so our goal is to simplify Web3 development in Solana, and that's kind of what this stack allows us to do. So I want to show you guys another product. This is Sniper. So I don't know if you guys have ever used Sniper, but they're an NFT aggregator. And this is their live feed that is powered by our Chainstream API. And it's extremely low latent and has a lot of amazing features. If you guys have not used Sniper, you guys should definitely go check it out. It's one of the best platforms out there. So this is a quote from Max. He is the founder and CEO of Sniper. So they were able to drop their order time to fill from 10 seconds to 300 milliseconds after switching to Chainstream API. And Chainstream API, again, it is streaming transactions, block updates, slot updates at the process commitment level, which you are not able to access currently through the RPC infrastructure. So I want to talk a little bit about app deployments. And so why did we decide to actually build out app deployments directly here at Syndica? So, for us, number one goal is reducing developer friction coming into Web3. And the way we thought of achieving that was to centralize and bring a lot of the services that people use, whether it's Vercel, whether it's AWS, whether it's logging analytics through monitoring on Grafana or Datadog, whatever it may be, and kind of combine it all together and custom tailor, build it for Web3, because Web3 is different than Web2. And so I want to show you guys how easy it is on Syndica V2 to actually deploy an application. So this is a deployment setup right now. You already have an application called My View App. You can easily select what region you want to deploy in, which environment. That comes with some preset environment variables. You can select the branch that you want to deploy on, and finally configure the instance. And this is all done directly on the UI, super simple. And this also integrates really easily with GitHub or GitLab, any of your version control systems out there. And yeah, once you deploy, it kind of just goes live. You can connect your domains directly to Syndica and host your app directly on Syndica. And what makes this really powerful is that those applications are actually sitting on the same rack and same hardware that is hosting our infrastructure. So you have an extremely low latent connection to on-chain events. And yeah, there's more on the horizon. So we talked a little bit about indexing. So we have our dynamic indexer that will be coming out by the end of this year, which will allow you to filter any transactions, account updates that happen, and act upon it, save it in a table, which can allow you to easily power your dashboards, power your servers, whatever you need to do. You can easily do it through the indexing solution. And aside from that, has anyone heard about SIG here? Yep, all right, that's great. Yeah, so we're also the company that's behind SIG. We're building a new Solana client validator in ZIG, and it is coming really, really soon. If you guys missed the talk on that, it's on YouTube. You can check that out. We also had Brennan, who's one of our lead engineers on the project, in that talk, so definitely check it out. So yeah, what we really want is to build the future of Web3 infrastructure, and that's what Web2, that's what Web2 and Web3 kind of, that's where they intersect, is that infrastructure layer. And with V2, that's what we're hoping to accomplish. And that's whether you want to accomplish it using really great observability, whether it's through logs, analytics, we have it all kind of on the platform with version 2. So yeah, the insights are kind of unparalleled, what you get to kind of see on our application. And in terms of pricing, so we actually want to reduce the friction for any developer around the world to start building on Solana and building on Syndica. So I'm happy to announce with version 2, we're actually going to give away 10 million free RPC calls every single month, no credit card required to sign up, and a host of other features that are included. And if you find yourself starting to scale really quickly, if you are seeing that you're getting crazy amount of traffic and you need to upgrade that plan from 10 million free RPC calls, we also offer a scale mode, which is $200 a month, and that offers 200 million RPC calls included. So yeah, it's a pretty big change in the infrastructure space. We're allowing more folks from all over the world to come in and start building with as little friction as possible. And that's one of our main goals. And as you guys have seen, we've been working with enterprises since the inception of Syndica. And so we have custom plans that can easily allow anyone of any scale to start using Syndica ASAP. And we're launching next week on Wednesday, November 8th. So I'm really excited for you guys to go on and try out V2 and give us feedback, help us iterate and make the product even better. And really, really excited for you guys to see the results of all our hard work. We've been heads down for the last really year, for the last 12 months, building out this new infrastructure, and it's been quite a journey. And since I have a little bit extra time, I'm going to give you guys a quick story. When we left Breakpoint 2022 last year from Lisbon, I'm sure a lot of you guys were there. We took off on that flight, leaving Lisbon, and by the time we landed, everything had changed. At that moment, we had several investors, several folks coming to us telling us that, hey, we should pivot away from Solana, focus on Ethereum, focus on Polygon, but we knew the tech in Solana was next to none. And so we kind of stuck it out and doubled down on infrastructure in Solana. We decided to kind of build out this platform. Believe it or not, the decision to rebuild our platform from the ground up and build it in a more optimal way was a result of kind of the crash that we saw in FTX and what happened last year. And so it was kind of the genesis, from the ashes, as you were reborn into a new company in some sort of way. So yeah, I also want to let everyone know we are hiring actively. So if you go to syndica.io/careers, there's several different positions available right now for anybody that wants to apply and come join the team, whether it's to build SIG or to build Web3 infrastructure. It's all there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and look forward to meeting you guys out in the crowd. Thanks so much.